Hello, this is your October board report for the Capital Region ESD 113. On October 14th, the Board of Directors met for their regular meeting starting at 12 o'clock, but just before that we held roughly a 3-hour work session. The focus of that session was to explore our strengths, to have a conversation about how our business model planning works, and to review the year ahead. The executive team, myself, and the board all took a Strengths Finder survey, which is a book published by Tom Rath called Strengths Finder 2.0. We had a conversation about where our strengths overlapped, where they're complementary, and how we can work more effectively as a team. It was a great conversation, a great opportunity to learn more about each other. The executive staff shared with the board an approach that we're facilitating around our business development planning process. So we're looking at how we engage in entrepreneurial development efforts, how we grow our businesses, and how we provide more effective services to our region. It's a whole lot of learning for us, a lot of planning, and some new experiences for us in the year ahead. And we just wanted to foreshadow that with the board, have a little conversation with them about how that looked. We concluded our work session with some conversations around what our year ahead calendar was going to be and what topics the board would like to have us present to them over the course of the months. The regular board meeting started shortly after lunch at 12 o'clock with the usual items: a call to order, our agenda review approval, and approval of the consent agenda. The first thing we did was recognize staff in our early learning program who had completed programs of study. Part of our strategic plan, as you know, is to close the gap, grow our people, and influence change. We're growing our people through a variety of supports across the whole agency, but many programs and individuals are on a process of growth themselves. The board recognized Beth, Stephanie, and Faye, staff in the early learning program who provide great service for our Head Start and ECAP children. They had completed courses of study in preparation for this coming year. So congratulations to the three of you again for your great work. The formal presentations to the board began with an overview of our early learning services, a presentation by Sandy Nelson with some data about the numbers of children served and some of the needs in our area for additional services, as well as a review of some of the changes in legislation and guiding principles for early childhood, both at the federal and the state level. Following Sandy's presentation, we had a presentation from the teaching and learning team where Andrew Ayers introduced members of his staff, Abby Bowers and Ryan Guzman, who provided an overview of early learning services and training provided this past year in service of WA Kids, Full Day Kindergarten, and other early childhood initiatives. Shortly after that presentation, Andrew Ayers provided an overview to the board on the Regional Fellows Program, which is a model of providing information, communication, support, and some professional development region-wide through district-named teacher leaders. It's an emerging model for us that continues to grow, and it's a great partnership with the ESDs across the state and our partner at OSPI. Following those two reports, we had the usual fare of early childhood report from Sandy Nelson and our fiscal report by Cal Brody. Both of them really had nothing of unique to report. It was a typical month for all of us. Brief informational items were provided to the board in terms of some contracts that we had that exceeded the board's threshold of $75,000, and then we went on to board action items. One business item was cancellation of warrants. Those are checks that haven't been used by the individuals issued in the past year. And then we went on to review and approve the second reading of the first part of our policy review in the 6000 series, which is the portion of our policy manual that reflects fiscal matters. So Cal and team continue to provide support in that area, and this will be almost a year-long project for us to review that portion of our policy manual. We hope to wrap up our policy revisions within the next 12 months. The final action item by the board was review and approval of a policy change for our hiring of personnel, specifically on our Head Start and Early Learning program. Due to some challenges that we have in staffing, there's been difficulty filling some of our vacancies. We want to speed up the process of placing individuals in service to early childhood, and we don't want to hold them up based on some of the fingerprinting work that goes on here. So individuals whose fingerprints don't clear and have been redirected to the Washington State Patrol to have their fingers inked for background check will be provisionally offered a role here at the ESD, and then will be finalized once those return. That's a small change in our practice, and we feel like that's most appropriate. Rick Anthony provided an overview to the board in terms of activities at the network of ESDs level and a legislative report. Rick is our representative to the executive board of the Association of Educational Service Districts, and at their last meeting, that board discussed changes in the Constitution and President's terms of offices, as well as a change in the way that the ESDs interact and engage in an interlocal. Rick also provided an overview of what's happening legislatively, and we'll share at this time that basically the legislature is holding on engaging in a special session, and we're waiting to see how the funding of basic education is going to play out here in the state of Washington. It's potentially going to be an exciting legislative session this next year, although most political pundits are speculating that not much action is going to occur. It's really, truly a waiting game. So we'll be waiting till the middle of this winter to hear what our legislature has in store for us and what changes in funding might be forthcoming. I provided a brief report to the board in terms of some work that we have going on here at the ESD. Background for them was we have a dispute between two of our districts that was raised by some citizens who reside on the border of North Thurston School District and Yelm School District. So a citizen's petition is coming forward to resolve a boundary dispute. The regional committee is managed by the ESD, and their role is to resolve those issues. They'll be meeting this week, in fact, to review that petition and see if they can come to resolution. The last item was a review of board elections. As you know, our board of directors are elected by our local school district board members. We have 3 positions that are up for election. None of them are contested, and by the end of this month, we should have the results back. So we're looking forward to swearing in our 3 board members in January, and we'll provide background biographical information to you once those elections are certified. The board concluded their regular work session or regular meeting session shortly after 2 o'clock. Our next meeting is coming up in November. It's an unusual date for us because the 11th of November is a federal holiday when the board would normally meet. So we're going to meet on Thursday, November 12th. I hope you've had a great month of October and are looking forward to a wonderful fall season, and we look forward to hearing from you. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to email, call, or stop by. Happy to answer any questions that you might have. Make it a great day.